what's up, guys? What's this? Horror comics. Now, you're probably wondering, hey, I thought you were working on comics. Why did you stop? Well, I took a little break. I finished the chapter of the Peacock that I meant to, and the following was in town. So, and also it's like, it's the season of the witch, or with him, I should say, the season of the warlock. Okay, obviously, I've been working the whole time on these things. It took a little break. The reposting is going to begin in November. I'm going to go full bore into the other series. But I'm going to try and see if I can work on some art for y'all in the spirit of the season. The horror comics, I keep mentioning, like, the old horror comics were great. These are mostly reprints, although there's two of them that are new. One from an older creator, and one that was a real surprise. And I don't, other than the guy from Thinking Critical, I don't know why people aren't mentioning this a lot. But anyway, we'll just get into a real, the brief thing. Of course, Werewolf by Night. They reprinted this because they did a new series with it. It was in the bag because it was like, oh, it's a red bag. It's violet. It's super violet. So, but I'm not buying nothing I can't see what's in it. Apparently, Jack Russell is still the main character. I'm surprised that they didn't do that. But, Werewolf by Night, Tomb of Dracula, Man Thing, Ghost Rider, Morbius the Living Vampire. They were sort of like recurring horror characters. In many ways, like anti-heroes. Not quite heroes, but not quite totally evil. Even Dracula would fight other supernatural beings. Son of Satan, remember Son of Satan? And what I like too is that these characters were thoroughly mixed into the Marvel universe. So you have here, well, of course, one a character I like in a decent Marvel comic, that one of the few that actually came out in the last couple of years, the Moon Knight by Jed McKay was actually pretty decent. Pretty decent. It would probably be worth beginning a collection, DFC Suds. But in the reprint, Jack Russell is a 19-year-old kid. He inherits the curse of lycanthropy from his father, but it's linked to this book, right? You got Doug Mensch, writer Don Perlin, recently passed away, rest in peace. Len Wein, right? I mentioned Len Wein many times behind many things. But pretty cool story. You have Moon Knight basically fighting the werewolf, but he's on it, like, this is the point where Moon Knight is working for for money, like a mercenary. He's very human, but I like his weapons were really cool. He's like Batman. If Batman was a mercenary, and also if Batman was a insane psychopath following an ancient cult. So, but I like the fight here where his weapons, his cestus. He has a silver cestus, and he has these cool crescent-shaped throwing darts, but he's getting his ass kicked by this supernatural being. And luckily the sun came up, and that's the only way he was able to beat him. But obviously, as you can tell, the baddies, he's not. Moon Knight's like, you know what? You know what's happening. It's like, screw you guys, right? And they team up and they start beating these evil men. So, look at that. Look at the old shirts. Everything's reprinted. Oh, man, dude. That would be awesome. Alice Cooper shirt. Anyway, but all is not well as usually with comics. It's got to be the most repulsive industry I can think of. It attracts like the worst people, particularly behind the scenes. So we have here, look at this, in red, right? So red alert. This previously published content includes negative depictions and or mistreatment of people or cultures. These stereotypes were wrong then and wrong now. And rather than remove this content, we want to acknowledge it, its harmful impact, learn from it, and spark conversation to create a more inclusive future together. Now, even the way this is written, it's full of shit within itself, right? The conversation will only go in one direction, if there is even. But Doug Mensch is still alive. Okay, he's still alive. A lot of these guys are passing on now. He's still alive. You're insulting him. Okay, regardless. Okay, and you're really insulting him because this is in reference to, in the beginning, there's a storyline where this obviously corrupt, evil character, probably a Fed, is trying to bribe an official in Haiti, and the official has integrity. He goes, I'm gonna have you arrested for bribery. Remove your money from my desk and get out of here, right? And so they show in Haiti this character who was also a werewolf but has been cured. He's visiting relatives in Haiti. Oh, is this why they have that? Never in any capacity. Okay, Haiti is shown to not be a thriving place, but everyone sort of knows that. But none of the people here, there's no negative depiction of anything. This poor girl is traumatized, okay, but her parents were killed by a zombie, right? Because you know, this, if this is a Haitian zombie, a voodoo zombie, there's an evil mastermind behind it. And you see this poor girl's traumatized and catatonic, and this man is trying to help her. So I haven't seen anything in here depict anyone in a negative way. You owe Doug Mensch an apology. You do. Whoever editor is it for behind this, because we all know the real baddies. The real baddies were these white men. Anyway, another reprint for Swamp Thing. Now, sophisticated suspense. Now, this was actually a tagline back then. I don't remember. Now, I told you I sort of lost interest in Swamp Thing because I was kind of young, I guess. And the more straightforward stories that Len Wein did and Martin Pascoe had done, Alan Moore came in to like make it more sophisticated. At this point, I think, Rick Veitch, Charlie Veitch. No, Rick Veitch was the art, was the penciler. John Tolobin was still the inker. This is the story where, and I mean, I guess, you know what? Alan Moore can be an infuriating, dude, but the talent was undeniable. This was a great comic. So I need to get the reprints of the Swamp Thing. And look at like the best 10 books of '84. So Atari Force, Blue Devil, Power Pack, forgotten now. John Sable. They actually made a show at American Flag, but Teen Titans and X-Men were kind of like the rival comics of each other. The young, edgy comics being done by the time. And Swamp Thing, of course, because of Alan Moore pretty much putting, you could say, a modern horror sensibility into the work. Now, you see the artwork is very, very unique. Okay? They're already aiming this at an old audience. Also, we have the introduction of one of the more annoying characters who's been used throughout the years, John Constantine, right? Basically based on Sting from that film Brimstone and Treacle. It also looks a little bit like Malcolm McDowell at times, but he's kind of a git. He's kind of an obnoxious, womanizing Sam Spade type. But obviously he's there to help Swamp Thing. And it's kind of cool how they show Swamp Thing he was destroyed again, but his consciousness, he's able to regrow himself. And of course his girlfriend, Abigail Arcane, one of the greatest female characters in the comic, by the way, from all the writers. Okay? A devoted woman who is not no pushover, but she's also out of her league much of the time, and she just loves this man who had a horrible fate. But the thing, of course, with Alan Moore is that he's not a man anymore. He's a plant elemental who gained the memories of that man. So anyway, really, I mean, from the layouts, the panels. Look at this panel work. Look at this panel work. And the writing, too. I mean, John Constantine is an asshole. The later, when he got his own series, Hellblazer, they kind of took him down a notch. And I agree with that. But just in the modern horror sensibility, Alan Moore really nailed it, dude. So I gotta give that bloke credit. So the letter section is funny, too. Sophisticated suspense. There's no idle claim. Right? And you had letters from all over. You had letters from the UK, because, they were distributed in the UK. So, and of course, the whole idea is that, she's starting to realize that, the man she knew doesn't really exist anymore. It's like his memory was recorded on an alien being, which is one of the great things about Swamp Thing. And I'm probably gonna have to make another vid at this rate we're going. But okay, we'll end it up, these two are reprints. We'll end it up with the floppies. They call these floppies now. So the Incredible Hulk, I've noticed this now for about the past 6 months. I was looking at the art, and right off the bat, I'm looking at this artwork. Okay, this one, I didn't have the cover with the artwork, but I'm looking at the art here. This artist, Adam Gorham? Wait, who is it? Gorham? Oh, this is a different artist. Well, this artist as well. Adam Gorham and this guy here, Klein, Nick Klein, and the artwork. Now, obviously, I don't even have to mention who was a major influence on both of these artists. Okay, um, yeah, you know who the influence is, of course. The late great Mr. Bernie Wrightstead, okay, who was the original creator, one of the all creators of Swamp Thing. But I noticed with the Incredible Hulk series, it has a very, it became like a horror comic. Okay, it came like a horror adventure comic by this writer here, Philip Kennedy Johnson. Hulk is at war with both his human alter ego Banner and the primordial being known as Eldest. In a bid to possess the Hulk's flesh, the Eldest has been kidnapping people connected to him, including Dr. Voodoo. Of course, he's another character out of that 70s horror period. And basically, the stories are supernatural. There's demons, there's creatures, there's elder things. There's him going to hell. There's his fight with the abomination. And look at, and like I said, this artwork. Oh my God, dude. Oh, I mean, your children await you. Will you not rise? And he punches her in the eye. What the hell? Dude, why hasn't this comic been mentioned? Now, apparently, they're going to make the next issue, because all Marvel does is like end the comics and start them up again to try to make a new #1, right? That's all they care about. It's going to be called the Infernal Hulk, and it's going to be this Hulk fighting, like, the supernatural, more of a supernatural story, and it particularly, yeah, like, I'm shocked. There's this and Moon Knight, and Moon Knight's still good. The same guy's still writing it. They've also done the same thing with that, by the way. Instead of just keeping the issue continuing, they restarted it a bunch of times to have a new #1. It's a really, really crappy thing that Marvel does to do that. But apparently, the Incredible Hulk and this Infernal Hulk that's coming out after this, I'm going to keep my eye on that, man. So, you know what? Marvel is doing good stuff in spite of itself. I mean, you throw enough stuff against the wall, something's going to stick. I'm going to go over these on a separate vid.